I've been working at Willow Ridge Asylum for 6 years now, and most days are pretty ordinary, if you can call caring for the disturbed ordinary. My name is Sarah, and I'm a nurse here. The job isn't glamorous, but I've always believed in helping people, even when those people scare the living daylights out of me. But there's one thing I've never been able to shake. Something is wrong here. Not with the patients in the usual wards, although their stories are heartbreaking, but with what lies beneath the asylum. It started with a whisper I wasn't supposed to hear. Willow Ridge is old. Parts of it are over a century old, built back when lobotomies and straitjackets were considered cutting-edge treatments. The main building, where I spend most of my time, has that sterile, modern hospital feel. But the basement? It's another story. The basement is off-limits. The staff has to badge in and out of nearly every room in the asylum, but the basement door doesn't even have a scanner. Just an old, rusted padlock. It's been there since I started. About 2 years ago, I overheard Dr. Langley, our lead psychiatrist, talking to one of the orderlies late at night. "Make sure you check on patient X before the night is over. You know the protocol." I wasn't supposed to be there. I'd stayed late, catching up on some paperwork after a particularly grueling double shift. Langley didn't see me, but his words stuck in my head like a splinter. Patient X? The asylum has over 150 patients, and we all know them by name or number. But not X. The idea of a secret patient nagged at me. I thought about it constantly. I asked a few of the other nurses, trying to sound casual. "Do we have some kind of experimental program going on?" I asked Carol, who's worked at Willow Ridge longer than anyone. She gave me a sharp look and told me to drop it. "No good comes from asking questions like that," she muttered. But I couldn't let it go. A week later, I saw my chance. Dr. Langley left his office late, and I caught him walking toward the basement door with a file in his hand. He didn't notice me, and I trailed him down the dim hallway. He unlocked the padlock and slipped inside. I didn't dare follow him then, but I waited. A long 10 minutes passed before he came back out, locking the door behind him. As soon as he was gone, I crept closer. I knew it was wrong, but I had to know. I pressed my ear to the door. At first, I didn't hear anything, just the low hum of the building's ancient heating system. Then, faintly, I heard breathing. Not normal breathing. This was slow, deliberate, and heavy, like the sound of a predator waiting in the dark. Weeks passed. I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd heard. I knew I'd get caught, maybe even fired, but I didn't care anymore. Whatever or whoever was down there, it wasn't right. One night, I took the skeleton key from Carol's desk. I told myself I'd put it back before anyone noticed. The basement smelled like mildew and something else. Something metallic and sharp. Blood? The first few rooms I peeked into were empty, filled with dusty medical equipment that looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. But as I ventured deeper, the air grew colder. At the end of the hall was another door, this one steel, with a tiny observation window. My hand shook as I stepped closer. Behind the glass was a room lit by a single flickering bulb. In the corner of the room, restrained to a chair with thick leather straps, was something. It looked human, but wrong. Its skin was too pale, stretched too tight over its bones. Its eyes, God, its eyes were pure black. No whites, just endless pits of darkness. It didn't move, but I knew it was awake. I could feel its gaze on me, even though its head didn't turn. The sound of its breathing was unmistakable. I stumbled back, nearly dropping the key. My heart pounded as I rushed back upstairs, locking every door behind me. I didn't sleep that night. The image of that thing burned into my brain. The next day, I searched Langley's office. I know I shouldn't have, but I couldn't stop myself. In the back of his filing cabinet, I found a folder labeled X. It wasn't much, just a few notes scrawled in Langley's precise handwriting. Subject X. Age, unknown. Origin, unknown. Status, contained. Notes, the patient exhibits no need for food, water, or sleep. Vocalizations recorded at 0300, resembling multiple voices speaking in unison. Do not engage with the subject under any circumstances. That was all. No explanation, no history. I couldn't stop myself. I had to go back. This time, I brought a flashlight. The creature was still there, its head now tilted slightly to the side, as if listening. My skin prickled. "Who are you?" I whispered, my voice trembling. It didn't speak, but the light flickered, and I swear I heard a sound, not with my ears, but inside my head. A chorus of voices, overlapping and distorted, whispered one word: run. I didn't need to be told twice. The next day, I found Carol waiting for me in the break room. "You were in the basement," she said flatly. Her voice wasn't angry, but there was a weariness in her tone that scared me more than any punishment. "You need to forget what you saw," she continued. "If Langley finds out..." She trailed off, shaking her head. I wanted to demand answers, but the look in her eyes stopped me. Whatever was down there, it wasn't something I was meant to understand. Nowhere to turn. That was 6 months ago. I've kept my head down since then, but sometimes I feel its gaze on me, even when I'm nowhere near the basement. I don't know what it is. I don't know why Willow Ridge is keeping it here. But I know one thing: it's only a matter of time before it gets out.